Okay, welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode number 89. This I'm reviewing the 104th episode of the anime, Those Who Have Earth. Yes, continuing from last week's episode, which, that's quite interesting. So, Meliona shows up at the Black Bull's hideout last week and takes Asta and Noelle with her, leaving, basically, Gordon, Charmy, Magna, and Luck, leaving those four behind. And that's the last I see of them, but don't worry, we're going to get something quite interesting next week. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's like this filler stuff is like so exciting. So, where is Meliana taking them? To her house. Yep. And she's there with her brother for going on, and apparently Mimosa and her idiot brother has been invited. Yep, her brother. Now I get why I get why everybody else is with Asta. My guess is because he does know her because from the I mean that Sun arc, which is a really good arc by the way, which is the introduction of her. Yeah, and pretty much with this, the reason why they're there is to celebrate 15 years of her being nun. Yep. And the fact she used to be their tutor. And this is the first time she's ever actually had an on-screen conflict with these two in present day. Also, she's got nicknames for Pagolia and Meliona. For Golion, she calls him Foggy and calls Meliona Mosi. I'm like, okay. Now, Asta probably would not be allowed to get away with calling them that because they're older. Yep. And the sister decided to invite the Chernophers, which means Maria is there. But there's a mysterious boy who's got partially his eye covered. And this is actually Goosh, who's a former child because of transformation magic. My guess is Gray did this to him. Oh yeah, in case you're wondering, in the manga it's hinted at currently, Gray has got a thing for Goosh. She's never really expressed it, but it's implied that she has a thing for him. Because she wants him to look at her more. Probably more in a relationship. It's possible, but who knows. Yep, so they have some food. Asta treats Marie basically quite nicely. And gives some food and do some party tricks. Asta has quite interesting, which is take gold plates, put off his anti-magic demon swords and catch with his teeth. That would basically wash well. Noelle does nothing really very much. And basically, for going on, just boils 3 eggs. Which doesn't impress him. Also, and I've got to point this out though, this is the first time in an episode for the series where Fagolian's flaming arm, you actually can hear the fire. Which, when I was first hearing, like, what is that sound? Oh, it's his flaming arm. Did Studio Para just finally realize, though, that even though his arm has been on fire now for quite some time, it's never made a sound ever in the series? Somebody must have told the higher-ups about this and that, hey, he has a flaming arm. Why not have it actually make sounds? Okay, that's awesome. And of course, the brief appearance by Salamander. Yeah, I'll get to that. So, and then pretty much like, then they started some embarrassing stories, like how these two tend to figure out who tried to roll the family vase, so magic item, and Noelle has no embarrassing stories, though she's embarrassed by Asta's embarrassed of like wetting the bed. Yeah. And as for Mimosa, she's basically like chastising her brother, and then of course they start a fight. Yes, a fight. And the Vermilion sibling, they start a fight too. Goosh basically is later turned back normal, and they're all the fighting is stopped by the sister. And as punishment for fighting, she summons a giant flaming hammer, whacks the two Vermilion sisters and Goosh. Those two I get why Goosh, Probably because he actually broke the rules to see his own sister. Yep, and she's like, seriously, you two are your 30s and you're still fighting. Which I thought, okay, that's quite interesting, the fact they brought up, because here's the thing. Meliona is 32. And I think for Meliona, I think he's like 30, 31. They never specify exactly how old he is. I never looked up. I know that Meliona is like 32. But she looks fantastic for her age. And don't call her an old lady. They even had this little montage when this was younger to so it looked like they kind of grow and they get their current age, which I think was quite interesting. Yep. And it's like, oh yeah, come back in 85 years, celebrate being a nurse for 100 years. And that's that. Yep. And it's implied that Asta and Noelle went back to the Black Bull's hideout after this. Yep. Now, as what training they've done. Well, they did a little bit of training in the last couple episodes. This one? No, just a standalone episode, which is kind of weird. It picks up exactly where last week's episode left off. But this was an interesting episode. It's nice to see Maria again. This is actually the first time in the actual anime she's been seen since her last appearance in the canon stuff. Now, in the manga, she has not made an appearance yet that I can think of. But in the case of the sister, it's great the fact we got a chance to see her interact with Meliona and Fagona, because they're showing interacting flashbacks. Present day, nope, never happened before. And it's so good they reference Iron Man. That was so amazing they did that. So yeah, great standalone episode. Next week, a mixer. Oh my gosh, a mixer. And apparently, Fenrir was invited. Believe it or not, this is the girls he invited. He invited Noelle. He invited, looks like Rebecca's back. Looks like Lux got a date, which that looks interesting. Even Charlotte has been invited. I'm like, oh my gosh, Charlotte's back. And here I thought her last appearance was back in, I think it was like episode like 131. That was the most recent appearance made in the anime, but apparently it's returning back next week. I'm like, damn, it's only been like 4 episodes of the last appearance. My guess is the anime loves using her. Yeah. But kudos for the anime. Make a pretty interesting standalone episode. Even though it's filler, but it's great. Alright, moving on to the newest chapter of the manga for Black Clover. Rise to Action, page 257. Chapter starts off with the leader of Dark Triad actually living. Yeah, apparently Yami's sword didn't do much to him at all. He apparently is still alive. And he forms himself a new body. Of course, you see a brief image of Vanessa. Looks like Fenrir and Gray. And Asta. Yes, Asta's back in this chapter. And he reforms his body. And he's bigger now. Yeah, he's bigger. It's like, not human anymore. And Yami continues to fight with him. Death thrust doesn't do much to him. It's like, ha ha, I will not die. And fight, crush everything. And everyone's like, Captain. And I was like, come on, body, get up, move. And he's like, no, good, I can't beat this guy on my own. He doesn't die. He's all crazy and gross. His power is endless. Hey, I can't win this one without you, Asta. Like, okay. So Asta apparently gets up after seeing some flashbacks of them in training. And he gets up, and the chapter ends with what looks like Asta's teaming up with it to take on the leader of Dark Triad, which this should be interesting. And no, it doesn't look like he's in Black Asta. It kind of looks like it's going to Black Asta mode, but who knows? But interesting ending to the chapter. I hope in the filler episodes they explain where the heck Asta got his belt and gloves. Yeah, and when did he say bulk up? Yeah. All in all, really damn good episode. Chapter in the manga. I give this chapter roughly a 9 out of 10. Fantastic chapter. Definitely looking forward to next week's chapter. Okay, so that's it for Cycler Review. I might have time to do a One Piece review. If not, I'll probably save it for tomorrow along with the review for ReZero. Okay, peace next video. Bye.